What's up, people? This is A. Kibaru, a precast concrete manufacturer with a passion for building modern technology. Today, my video, I'm documenting this precast unit. It's a 3-bedroom bath from day 1 to day 9 of doing the shell. And all this process that you're seeing here running on your screen, I'm going to document it down with a 35-minute video. And big shout out to my attachees who had given attachment at my factory that with the attaches, you can see them at the factory learning, young, energetic, and we were building this 3-bed, 2-bath unit. Very simple. So day 1, we visited the site. It was bushy. We cleared the bushes, make sure everything, the beacons are all visible, and looked around for everything. So the attaches, as you can see them, wamefurahia sana. It was the first time doing a unit, and this is what I like. So we went back to the factory. We verified that all the precast materials are already manufactured. They were loaded on the truck. These include the precast foundation. You can see the H blocks, the precast walls. So the house is pretty much manufactured offsite. Siku ya kwenda kukanyesha, lori kakwama with the materials. So we were forced to offload the materials hapo to make the truck light. The other van had brought the rebar for bases, and Engineer Eli here is busy setting up where the piers or the columns are supposed to be set. So this is a piece of land. It was tiny. It was like 60 by 50, and the house that we were building was like 10 by 12. So you can see now it's all cleared up. Very nice. Because of a truck kukwama, tukamwaga materials zingine to the piece of land where we are supposed to work on, so we had to move them aside ndio tupate mahali tutachimba mashimo za column. You can see the marking them is a 1.2 by 1.2 dimension, and the depth was determined by how deep the stable soils was. In this case, we were not going very deep. This is a red soil, and also the house is just a bungalow, so we dug like a meter, and we had to hire guys. If you want to dig these holes, tafuta majamaa, lipa kila mtu shimo yake 300 to 400 shillings. Kila mtu atachangamka, atakuchimbia shimo, na by saa 8 mashimo ndio hizo ziko ready. So hapa tu nakujanga una verify the depth, kama imefikia soil bearing capacity SBC kama ram kidogo, and then unawalipa. Look, if this was the typical way of doing street food in mitaro, kungekuwa kumejaa mchanga mingi sana. But because here we are only digging the pier section, the minimum of soils is kidogo. So this is one of the intern verifying that actually the depth hasn't been achieved. The other intern, the following day, akachangamka na this chemical is supposed to be mixed with water, and you pour inside the hole, because Kiambu is a rich, fertile ground for termites. Termites are very, very active here in the red soils. So you make sure you pour this chemical before you do anything. At least it protects the termites. The termite is very mix a machine, and Engineer Gutu is on the machine. Then I'll put your mix ratios are 1:4. So I'm mixing the concrete blinding, of course. So start with the blinding. Blind, kuna fundi Saimo hapo ya blinding shimo zote. Then the other team for riba walikuwa shafunga riba bases. So once the blinding is done, imekauka, wanakuja wana set the bases zako at a very leveled angle. Tumia hiyo pipe with water to look at the angles, and the moment you get your angles, you put your bases. Then you can see the H blocks already zimewekwa kwa kila shimo ine. So we needed about 5, that makes about 1 meter. And after walifunga hiyo mabase, wakaweka the ripper for the mini column, kwa sababu we have an engineer's way of using those H block as just like a cased column. So once we are done concreting, because now tunafunika the base with 200 mm concrete base in depth, pick a vibrator, So these concreting these can be a little bit expensive because you'll find yourself using almost 7 cubic meters of concrete. So be ready to spend some money. Mjue mzingi kwangi cheap. Make sure you vibrate your concrete very well. Msingi sio cheap, just be ready. But our technology of raised foundation is way cheaper than the strip footing with quarry stones. And this is how you sleeve in the mini column with the H block. Inafit hapo ndani vizuri. You make sure you have a spirit level. Make sure they are well leveled because the pre-stressed stadium will sit on top. They're going to sit on top of this block. They're very strong, and then they're going to carry the house. So remember, guys, we already have a 200 mm base of concrete. Then we are sleeving these mini columns with about 5 H block to make it 1 meter. The depth of cotton here, the depth of soils here was not really deep. If you go to places where there is cotton soil, we also use the same technique where we excavate the base section only. And we always tell our people only use the H block system for depth not beyond 1.5. If anything is going beyond 1.5 meters, then we need you to use reinforced columns, not this. Then ndio hiyo sasa tukakuja tukazika hiyo mashimo yote. You can see the last block is the one that is slightly protruding by 200. Unazika, and then unaanza sasa to lay the pre-stressed stadium. We start with the mid section where we lay them as double beams. Why double beams? Because they are going to carry the load for section A and section B. Remember, a pre-stressed T-beam structurally is very strong. We can create the load by the moment. The designer, our engineer here had designed that the spanning for the lower beams should not go beyond 3 meters. If it's going beyond 3 meters, then you need to use double beams, or you need to introduce a pie section at 1.5. If you do double beams, you're good. If you introduce a pie section, yani between 3 meters hapo katikati unaweka kapaya kengine, it's also good and cheaper. So you can see the mid section ndio hiyo wameweka. That is a double beam. Itabeba beam za nyumba ya pande hii na itabeba beam za ile pande ingine. I hope you understand. And it's a very easy way to lay these beams. You can see the crawl space. Remember the crawl space ni yako kashimo kanabaki hapo chini. Our beams are not sitting on the ground. Hence, you end up with a very, very, very warm house. There's no issues of dampness. You know, the way after you wall, unaanza kupata mold. With this raised foundation, such things don't happen. And it's the best if you're building on expansive cotton soils because you leave that crawl space for the expansive soils to move up and down. You can see the 1 meter panels. This is an engineer's way of using 1 meter panels as infill as your subfloor because you use less pre-stressed T-beam. We all know pre-stressed T-beam is a little bit expensive, but when you use the 1 meter panels as infill, then a place where you were to use maybe 10 beams, you only use like 5. So you cut the cost by 50%. These precast wall panels cut into 1 meter section are very strong. They are reinforced inside. They don't need any kind of a prop. And the topping will only be 50 mm concrete topping. You can see the plumber, the electrician, they're busy preparing their services. So the plumbing waste pipe will run under the crawl space. So for now, we're looking at the section where the bathrooms are so that we can install the floor traps. You can see myself there busy giving instruction. I have so many guys here. It's not like all of them are working. Most of these guys are on attachment. These are people who have studied building and construction courses, structural engineers, architects. They are here to learn about precast concrete. Tumechukua panel moja, naanza kukatakata section ya kuweka floor trap. So lazima upimie vizuri. Kama sasa hii walikuwa nakatia ndio unaona ile column kako pale mwisho ikatiwe ndio ingia hapo ndani. It's just vitu ya macho. So yeah, so you can see us still going very strong. So there is a plumber. Wamepata bafu iko hapo katikati. So zingine panels kama inaacha kagroove kidogo ingi vizuri, you ask the strong guys to jump on them ndio ina lock hapo ndani. So hiyo imechimbio hiyo point, hii ni point ya float trap, then wataiingiza ndani. It has to be precise because sometimes if you don't, unaona vile wana sleeve in that waste pipe ya choo, ndio panel ingia hapo vizuri. So ndio panel kanyanga imeingia. Sometimes it chips. The small chipping is not anything to worry about. As long as it locks along the grids, you're good to go. So you can see the black sidings. Hiyo ni float trap. Already tumepiga the sidings za hold concrete into place. And we seem like we're almost done. And we're ready to pour concrete. Now we're pouring our concrete in 50mm concrete topping. We also note there is no BRC mesh on top because our concrete is fiber reinforced. We are using that special vibrator screed. It screeds at the same time it vibrates the concrete. It's very important to vibrate your concrete so that you can remove all air bubbles or air particles and it becomes solid. Hii kazi iliendelea mpaka usiku, but I'm glad by 8:30. Koroga mingi, you know about koroga, huwezi acha half. Koroga mingi zinaishanga ile masaa inataka. I've been to a koroga site ilisha saa 4 usiku. So the following day we woke up and you can see our slab is done. So we are removing the side forms. I ask a few interns to jump on the concrete floor to hear if there's any kind of vibration, because previously before you pour concrete, when you jump on the beam on the block or beam on the panel, there's a lot of vibration. Na lori kaingia ya wall. Imagine sasa ingekuwa maya daru. Ilikuwa ni lori ngapi? This is on the wall for this house. This unit is a 3-bed, 2 baths and a big lounge and an open plan kitchen. So the same day, this is day 3 actually, guys. We started sleeving with H blocks. So I'm going to explain to you how a H block works in this case. So day 3, ndio sisi hao tunachukua corners za nyumba na katikati pia tunaweka hiyo H block, sleeve, inakuwa kama a little bit of a mini column. And if you look at this block is H, meaning the H section there is where we're going to fit our panel. Our panel is in 90mm and that H section is 100mm. So the walling, itagripio nako kaka H section kama itakuwa ni kama in mortise joint in interlock. So the interlocking mechanism makes our wall very strong. Some people have been asking me, how do you lock these precast wall panels? And I tell them it's a very simple thing. Unlike masonry stone where they are joined together by mortar, panel has no form of mortar. So basically, the corners are supposed to go fit in on that corner block. And such an easy way, push and interlocks. And because this is a corner block, there's another starter section of the H. Ndio panel ingine ya corner itapigia corner hapo. So, and these panels come from this factory when they are sized to the right height. We usually use about 2.7 meters. 2.7 meters is the right height, and we make sure every panel ikisha simamisha unaangalia kama iko kapiro plump so that isiende imeinama. And this is what exactly the team is doing. It's very easy to install a precast wall panels. Very quick. I like building with masonry stones. I don't see the cons. I only see the pros only for this type of construction. And look, because they are smooth inside, you really need to do plastering works. You know, plaster costs a lot of money. You need a lot of cement. You need water. You need to wait for it to cure. But the precast panel, the inner side is usually smooth. So the inner side will pretty much need you to just skim it directly. However, the midsection where they are meeting each, because unaona kuna mahali zina lock, always tell the skimming person to make sure they use a goose wire or a tape to align it so that after skimming you don't see those cracks. So this is another corner. And guys, this is something interesting. You see, we have 2 teams. One is working on the outer wall and the other team is working on this outer side. So you can actually wall this house within 2 days if you have enough manpower. That's the beauty of precast. You save time. While time is money, most people don't really appreciate, but hapa fundi angejenga tu kozi ine kwa sababu hawezi enda sana otherwise kutaki tango. But hapa unaona tunafanya 10 meters within 20 meters, within 20 minutes. So this is the advantage of using these precast panels. It's a big win. So that block can usually be filled right after the wall is up, as you can see what the engineer is doing there. Unaivalisha tu, and because they have hollow section, ikisha lock vile lock, and then you pour concrete into that hole. So kisha moka concrete hapo ndani inashika. Right. So the precast mjengo is a mixture of precast T-beams for the foundation, the same panels but cut in 1 meter section, and longer panels of 2.7 meters for the walls, and H blocks. And that is what we manufacture at our Kikuyu precast yard. And for all units, when you provide us with a structural or an architecture drawing, we manufacture as per your drawing and we bill you. Now, you can see the electrical team here is ready. It's very simple to install electrical pipes because the panels have a hollow section. You just drop the pipe, as you can see. Ona, rahisi. Alafu, alijua socket itaikuwa hapo, wanakuwa wamekatia. They have a grinder on site. They cut to the size, and then they fit those socket holders or boxes, and you fit. So what I'm trying to say is, by the time you're walling your unit, you've already done off with the plumbing services, because also the pipes, you slot them through the hollow section. The electrical team wanazingiza through the hollow section. You don't have to come back later on to start hacking the walls, trying to connect those pipes, which is another tedious job. This is day one, the 2 days that the walling is being done, you do the services. I'm here with the architect trying to remeasure the bathrooms to be sure that we have the right sizes. Sometimes you end up with tiny rooms because you never verified. And one thing that you guys need to appreciate, the panels is only 90 mm. So with a 90 mm panel, you're going to get more interior space. Unlike a block ya daru ambayo inafika 150 ama 200, alafu ukipiga plaster both sides, inakuwa more interior space is wasted by a material. So these panels are thin enough, but yet very strong. So sometimes we hack them with a panga to resize pale chini ilale, inatupatia another angle, ndio saa zile una install inakuwa easy. So that is the corner block again. You can see how insulation is being done on it. Mzuri sana. These corner blocks also help us when we want to fit the doors. The main doors na kujenga kwa hizo corner block. You can see our technician, the plumber, is already fitting the double. This is the double sockets for bathrooms. We're not using a one-channel mixer, but we also encourage when you're building a house always to do two-way piping for hot and cold, because nowadays solar are cheaper and you slot them in. So I've been asked so many times, in mfereji ya kwenda across in a kango, you can cut the panels pale chini, there is no harm. And then when you cut, utakuja tu uingize pipe. And this is how you fit the consumer box, very easy. Again, you fit it like that. You can see the piping for the sink. Mekata panels mbili across, then tutajaza na mota hapo, tutakuwa tu zimejaa. So the house is taking shape. The walling is done. Na wameanza kazi ya kuinstall rim beams or a tie beam. So the rim beam here is it's just a small one of 200 mm in thickness by 150, where we pour concrete. And lately for the new houses, we are not actually doing the rim beam. We found it very tedious and expensive. We are using a U-channel, a metallic U-channel. So you can see the pipes being installed. So make sure the piping, they protrude slightly above your rim beam so that by the time you pour concrete, your pipe is intact. So the unit is done. It's now taking shape, all the partition done. To top form marks the rim beam. And the sockets are done. Yeah, so before we start roofing, we engage a mason guy to do our floor. Remember the floor is 20 mm. Ikiekwa, inashikanga hizo panel pande ya chini. pande ya juu inakuwa married na hii rim beam. You can see the way the rim beam formwork was done to marry the panels. So those panels are married to the rim beam, and then when you pour concrete, it become one monolithic walling. We also verify if they are still plumb ama zilipotea. So you need to have that too. So they're putting the floor cover. It's 20 mm. This floor cover is a main floor where you're going to put your floor cover like tiles, laminate floor, pargo. Just make sure everything is leveled. It's a one-day job affair. And because the 20 mm additional, imetushikia panel. So finally, mabati, the metallic tubes for madirisha, the gutter started arriving, and we started fabricating our windows. You can see how beautiful they are, wide, big, no grills. We started doing the blundering for the roof. Take a note, we're using the metallic tube instead of timber. We find tubes way better than timber because timber sometimes it expands, and if you have a gypsum ceiling and your timber was not well cured, your gypsum ceiling will have issues. So yeah, so tukaanza kupiga mabati. You can also take note that we're using the cheapest mabati, non-colored. This is our gutter. We are putting the top goose wire on top. This is to prevent debris from falling inside, the trees, the leaves. Our system is called a butterfly roof. Hence, the gutter runs in the midsection, and both the left and the right roof pour its water to the gutter in the midsection. So you have to be very careful. Number one, on the gutter placement. The gutter placement should be precise to only flow water at the one end so it doesn't stagnate. So when you're installing, you have to do it practically. Unaweka maji unaona kama inaenda pande moja, isikuwe inakwama pale katikati. And also the gutter has to be deep enough, at most 200 mm by a width of about 200 mm for it to flow the water correctly. Now we're applying this parapet wall. The parapet wall gives an effect of a flat roof while it hides the actual mabati roof. So we usually say if you pitch your roof when you're building these houses, it's very expensive. The reason why we have pitch roofs all over in places like Europe is because of winter time, so that snow is able to go out. But here in tropical weather, you don't need a pitch roof. So a hidden roof is cheaper. It serves the purpose. And when you run the wall around it, no one sees it. Unless you're flying an aeroplane, you're able to see the roof. But the pitch roof, we use them here to make a statement, kufurahisha wapita njia to see the roof. But when you're inside your house, you don't actually see that roof. So here is our butterfly hidden roof. We're putting that coping stop on top because we realize the roof has an issue of leakage. Hapo kwa hiyo joint maji inaingianga. So if you put that coping stone, you're able to navigate and then seal it around those gaps so that no water leaks. So you can see the windows are already partly fitted. Roof ndio hiyo. It's looking a little bit with the leaves. You can see the leaves, they're fallen already on top, but we have our goose wire protect net. And there goes our roof. And already we have fundis doing the molding. And the fortunate part before we even did our funding, kukanyesha, so we were able to identify how we did it with that rain, with the heavy rain. We're able to see whether our gutter system is collective water and drain it the proper way. And where we had some issues, we were able to rectify it. Thank you for the rain on that day. You really did us a good thing. So we were able to shoot our drone up on the rains. It went up to specifically look whether everything is okay. Yeah, and it gave us the report. So this roof is it's just a basic one. You buy it cheap. So Ochola and his time started fitting the windows. People have been asking me, how do you fit windows on a precast wall? We use a U channel, as you can see, and then the windows is fitted like that. And then you weld. It's the simplest thing to fit. You don't have to drill walls or to create wall path to fit a window. The channel is enough and it's taking shape. And I like Mr. Ochola's job because these windows are quite big, spacious, more light. We have light in our house, natural light. And also the door has a glass on it. Took a walk around the unit. That is our gutter pipe that is collecting water. And I'll talk to you about the gutter pipe that takes our water to an underground membrane tank. That is the front side of the unit. You can see the entry porch. The two windows, one is for the master bedroom and the other one is for the lounge. And I would say the window job is done. We started preparing the walls by plastering the joints where the panels meet in order for preparation for skimming. This is a couple of hour job. Then the skimming material is here and the painters are on site and they start skimming. I want you to notice the wall is still a little bit rough, but that doesn't deter. So you don't need any plaster if you're using the precast pad in the inner side, which is smooth. This is the end result. This is only the first coat. So if you do the second coat and you sandpaper it, it becomes more smoother, more pronounced, and beautiful. So skimming takes 3 days job. It depends on the number of people you have. And you can realize that the ceiling guys are not yet done. It's because the services for the electrical piping is being currently done so that the gypsum can be installed, the ceiling, the false ceiling. So the team is still doing its job. As we wait the electrical guys, you can see all these cables there. They are pulling the cables for the lighting because we have a gypsum ceiling and we're going to have more downlighters in each and every room. So this is an ongoing job as you can see at the moment. Remember we use the metallic sheets for blundering and we have the gypsum blundering done. This is the bathroom section, so we're looking for any leakage before we do the ceiling. Now the ceiling is done. It was a very quick job. Pretty much big area, the whole area. The skimming, first coat for the wall done. The cables are put to the socket and the switches. And here we are covering the crawl space. People been asking me, do you leave this space like this? Are you not scared about snakes and other animals taking refuge under the house? So we usually use the waste precast panels to cover that hole. And once it's covered, you plaster it. So when you look at the house, you don't actually get to know whether there was a hole underneath. It looks like just part of the house. However, there are people who leave it like that to keep their pets. People want to lay there, keep animals, poultry there. It depends with the elevation. Some of the elevation, if it's really very high, you can have a small store or a garage. So you don't have to worry about the crawl space. And the crawl space, like I've said, is the best place to keep the house warm. And the fitting started for the windows, or for the doors, so this is the frame. Remember, because we're using a 90mm wall, the framing material is basic minimum. You don't have to use a huge frame of 250 like we've been using with the Darugo stone. Here you use very minimal amount of timber for the framing. And the upper section that you can see, we usually clad it with gypsum, so you don't actually get to know if this is a part of the wall or not. So you don't have to buy very big frames in height. Just cover the upper space with gypsum. These are windows. The locks have been installed, and Alex, the glass guy, is here now with his team. They're fitting the glass. We're using semi-dark, a little bit tinted glass, not the shiny ones. And one thing I would commend Alex and his team for the glass. They're really fast. They did this job within a day. They used the right putty that doesn't. I've seen some putty in the market that after a couple of years later they start popping up. So he told me about his putty being one of the best, and he knows his stuff. So I would recommend for the job, give Alex. At this stage, when you're doing a precast house, most of this job is subcontracted. You see Alex here with the team doing the glass. You have Ochola, who did the window frames and the doors. We have a team for gypsum, independent. We have Simiu for the skimming of the walls. So I would say Most of the jobs for the finishes are usually a contract for different professionalism. So a floor guy like us will do the flooring, but the floor is installed as the last thing. The plumber will start installing his services, his toilets. The electrical guy will start doing his sockets, making sure everything is okay. And also the electrical team is the same team who handles the installation of cameras, security system. It's a one-off job for everyone. So Alex is doing his thing, as you can see. And yeah, so when these windows were done, we realized like everything ended up together. So we started installing the precast kitchen. We no longer use MDF boards, so we use these precast panels to create a platform for a kitchen, and then you clad it with ceramic tiles or granite. So Fundi is there measuring, making sure the level is okay. So it's gonna have two sections. This is like the island. So the first section is the island. The second section is a small space where to feed the stove, the cooker. And the section will be, the bigger one will be where we're going to feed the sink. So we went and bought tiles, and Chris, the tile guy, started doing his job, installing the tile as I would say, like a granite top, but way cheaper. He also did the walling, the backsplash, and honestly, the precast panels does an amazing job, because it's way affordable than going for a full kitchen. And because this is an affordable unit, you don't really want to spend lots of money on it. It's an open plan kitchen. So, oh yeah, and then the lighting was done and it's beautiful. We create an alcove where you can put your soaps in the bathrooms. Beautiful and cladded with tiles. Then we came to see Alex job the glass, Ochola, the windows, the exterior paint schemed by Osimiu. Beautiful effect on this precast affordable house. You can actually tell the crawl space is covered already, and this is the exterior space looking like this. So yeah, I'm loving it too. So now we're getting inside the house, not fully cleaned. So this is the lounge area. It's quite spacious. The window with the window sills, the grills, the skimmed, the lighting effect of the downlighters. Oh, our affordable kitchen island and the kitchen backside there. Chris done his tiling work on it. The small room, the pantry, the backside where you can have a small washing machine. This corridor leads you to the bedrooms. So the first bedroom is about 9 square meter area. It's enough to have a one bed, or you can make it an office. They all have the cabinets in them. Not very big. The sockets, you can see the skimmed wall doesn't have that wavy effect anymore. Yeah, so the second bedroom, which is another like about 8 square meter also, Kekawamba also, a small cabinet to fit clothing. The backside was open plan. And then finally, we have the master bedroom here, which is about 11 square meter. So the master bedroom also is en suite. It has its own bath and a toilet inside. And right here, you see the bathroom. It's open plan cabinet or wardrobe for hanging the clothes. This is the bathroom. Styling effect, the alcove, the 2 shower mixers, the more affordable way. The flooring here is a safety vinyl floor, which is non-slip, so that floor decor outlets. Now the 2 bedrooms that I just showed you, they're sharing this bathroom also, with a small alcove, the shower mixer, hot and cold. And yeah, this is the house. There's the back side to go to the kitchen. This is a biodigester. You see the partitions. So, and the unit is done. This costed about 1.9 million, done within 21 days. And this is the real meaning of affordable precast house, manufactured by Floor Deco. Thank you for tuning in. Follow our pages. We keep posting lots of products and stuff. Thank you.